Alright guys, we're gonna start over here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
Delete the hearts for Robin.
I got it.
On stage right now. Yeah, we haven't been so good with this countdown. We're like,
All right, we have Robin and Frank kicking it off. Robin actually was in the running for a perfect clear, but of course, this isn't modern Tetris. He didn't have a long bar in his, hold box. Simul Tetris. Difference of 10 points right now. Now a Tetris. But for a heartbeat, there's 10 points separating these two players.
Right. If the lights went out again, who knows? The game could end there on push-down points.
And now a bit of a drought. And Frank playing nice and clean. Robin setting up some intricate tucks. Shouldn't be that hard to resolve unless the game just never gives him the right piece. Oh, he gets there. He's fine.
Never giving you the right piece was the second runner-up for the name of the game.
Yeah, but it was too many words. They went with Tetris.
Probably pretty wise. But Robin ahead here, 111 to 82,000 against Frank here.
Frank has really built out his left side. Of course, it's kind of split up his stack a little bit. These different sections where you can't lay as many pieces flat because you have these really up and down areas.
Robin opting not to build a Tetris on one row and opting to burn it all the way down, which you can do when you have the lead.
Especially in these early rounds, as stacked as the field is, people are playing aggressively, people are maybe taking risks that they wouldn't normally take, and we're seeing more early top-outs than you might expect from these types of players.
Yeah, I mean, here in the side station, it's been all 2-0 in favor of really the top seeds.
Right. And I mean, we haven't even seen that many transition games yet. You can be sure as we progress through the rounds, we'll get more and more transitions. We'll start hitting kill screens. And look at that, Robin takes the lead back by 10 points. But then Frank knocks down a Tetris.
These 10 points, I feel like these 10 points come up twice already. I feel like it's going to be consequential. We can only hope.
Going to be the ultimate difference. So Frank, a couple awkward pieces there. He's trying to get out of this.
And another Tetris from Robin to get back into contention here, basically tied. But Robin with a much better board here.
Yeah, you saw Frank shaking his head at that sequence of pieces he just got.
Another Tetris from Robin.
Boom, Tetris for Robin.
Oh, sorry, yes, boom.
Or bang.
Or bang. I have to get used to that.
You don't have to.
I do have to. Here I am.
You can try the whoop.
And whoop.
That's a good whoop, actually.
So
I can't
cute.
do it.
I'd like to hear you try. So just one time we need to hear you.
Okay, but not right now. There's too much pressure.
There's a lot of pressure.
All right, so Frank has opened up a bit of a deficit here. Not going the way he wants it to. Robin going left side. Knocks down a left side Tetris.
Yep. Harry Hong, first max out style. Left well. No problem.
It's still pretty early going. We're approaching 100 lines. Again, Frank has a pretty segmented board. You can see how there's just not a lot of options when these pieces come down. He could have gone for a real dirty Tetris there, but boy, is that risky at that height.
Well, looks like he's about to burn out. Oh, interesting placement here. Sets up a LJ dependency, but he is going to clear it out and get Tetris ready. So what do I know? Not much.
You know plenty.
I know a little bit. Small amount.
Robin dealing with some traffic up there. Gets a helpful long bar. That's really going to make the difference for him right now. Both players Tetris ready. Now a drought. Frank with a bit of an overshift on that square. If he can get another long bar. But of course not. This is Tetris.
So not a huge pace here coming into the transition for either player. I mean, but still, I mean, they're super close, and maybe you just don't have to take a lot of risks.
Yikes. Uh-oh. So Frank is in a tough spot. The transition looming. He's trying to open up that well. He has one line left before the transition. And Robin transitions at 365,000 and a nice manageable stack.
Nice little sequence for Frank of pieces to open up the right side just as he transitions, and opting to burn it all the way down instead of being risky and trying to stay with a Tetris setup. Sometimes you need that little breather, like right after you get to 19, like, I'm just gonna...
You'll see a lot of even champion players kind of burn a few lines to settle into the speed increase. It can be jarring. You get so settled in on like that 18 drop speed. Sometimes you just want to take a deep breath and then start playing at this speed. So Robin has opened up the lead a little bit more. It was like 35,000 before. This is the largest lead of the game now. Robin looking really comfortable at this speed. And boom, Tetris for Robin.
Yeah, Robin looks locked in right now.
Oh no.
Oh no. Just when I say he looks locked in, but that's okay.
You can still get a piece over there, even with DAS. It's not too high yet.
Yeah, when it starts to get 6 or 7 high is when it gets dicey, and 8 is when you need a quick tap for sure.
Ooh, little Z burst there though is not gonna help him out. And another drought.
Oh no, that long bar is
No, that long bar is too high.
Yeah.
You see him lean back. The
There's
body
nothing
language
he can
says
do.
it.
Yeah.
So Frank now chasing down 85,000 points.
Yep. Needs to get to 445 in essence.
Going through all of those qualifications, waiting in line, all of them to get those points and then disqualified.
Oh my god. What's a Burgerville chicken sandwich from Darth Threads? Oh my god.
What a guy.
I like this trend, by the way. If people want to just walk up to me and hand me chicken sandwiches,
You're okay with
like
that?
I'm happy with this being a thing.
Okay.
So, oh, thanks, Darth.
All right, so Frank chipping away at it. He has it down to 61,000.
And what were you saying earlier about it being a blessing and a curse to know that your opponent is topped out?
Yeah. He didn't get the best, oh no, sequence of pieces. Oh, and
Yeah,
then
he's not
just
going to be able to recover from this, and I think this is...
Okay, so that's game one for Robin as he smiles knowingly at the camera.
Right.
He just had to sit there and wait and see.
Robin has chosen to go with 15.
Ooh, 15.
Interesting.
15 start.
It's an interesting move when he won game one and was playing so well on 19 to opt for a 15 start.
Yeah, there are a lot of top players who would never venture below level 18 unless forced to, and sometimes their rhythm and timing can be thrown off
That's
by
true.
level 15. So, a little gamesmanship here from Robin.
Potentially. Maybe he just likes the colors.
They are, I think they're like the second best colors. Besides, of course, the old red,
All right,
white,
we're going to
and
start the
blue.
next game.
Because
in
America.
3,
Oh, boy.
2, 1, Tetris!
Points, however, so now we're going to have to see how he's going to handle the increase in speed here. The transition is when we came and tried to spin and missed it just as
So now we see both players pressing down.
Yeah, because who wants to wait
I don't.
for a level 15 piece to come? I could eat that entire chicken sandwich by the time the piece falls.
Oh, Frank. With all this pressing down, is actually in a bit of a pickle right now.
All he could do here, it was all in his hands to keep his tournament hopes alive. 48,000 points is all he needs right now.
Frank with these alternating burn shelves, these holes in his stack, different spots on different levels. You kind of just have to dig them out one at a time to go get to them. And basically a simul Tetris here on level 15.
All right, so Frank has burned it all the way down, but not before losing a little bit of pace here to Robin, who is 2 Tetrises ahead already through 20 lines. So
Yeah, so maybe the 15 start, kind of the impatience with it, the pressing down did get to Frank a little bit. Because, as you said, Robin has opened up that early lead.
I don't know where I can. Thank you, chat, for helping us out. Look at that. Who said Twitch chat is toxic? It's not, right?
So
Not on Classic Tetris 2.
Okay, so Robin maintaining, and Frank once again kind of near the top of the screen. Just hoping for, oof, now he really needs something helpful almost
That
immediately.
left side is going to be really tricky.
Okay, so he used the wrong pieces to kind of dig out of that. It was a nice fix from Frank there.
You don't want to go out. I don't think anyone comes to Portland saying, I'm going to top out on 15 in game 2. But look at this, now set up for a Tetris, and if he can get a long bar right now, it's well, yeah, not going to be able to get one.
He's going to open it back up. Keep a nice
There
safe,
it is.
nice. Boom,
Wow.
Tetris for Frank.
All right, so
And that kind of high-level dig into a Tetris, that's what's going to get the crowd on your side. Boom, Tetris for Robin. And despite what just happened, Frank's stack now looking better than Robin's. Robin just kind of building one off the ground.
it looks like, well, yeah.
Kind of a bad sequence for him.
Yeah, so he's created a well for a triple. After it looks like he was going to build for a Tetris, but then decided to fill it in on the very next piece. So maybe he himself wasn't quite sure what he wanted to achieve with that, I think. But no, he's going to burn all the way back down to the ground, but still has a 2 Tetris lead despite all that. So forgetting to.
All right, Frank sets up, knocks it down, cuts down that lead a little bit. And he's ready for more. Boom, Tetris for Frank. It's a half a Tetris difference now.
Is Frank from Germany? I don't think Frank
No.
is from Germany. Frank is from the United States.
His last name is Westfall, but I'm actually not sure. Let me see if I can find his player profile.
Well, we can ask him because he's got these giant, probably the biggest headphones I've ever seen.
Let's see.
A Google form is being consulted right now.
We are seeing an influx of young talent. Maybe it was inspiration after watching Joseph last year, but there is a sea of new faces that are coming in.
All right, so they are basically exactly the exact same score. Robin behind by about 10 lines, though. You know, Frank playing above in the top part of the section of the board. Pieces are going to resolve a bit faster, and so you're going to play through more pieces and lines. So Frank with a 14 line difference here, and now Frank is ahead by a Tetris and a half. But not before Robin Tetrises again.
All right, so we're 16 through 18 are the same drop speed. So we're now at the classic 18 speed. Frank is from Wisconsin. And actually says that his nickname is Riz, which is great, and what I'm going to call him from now on.
Riz. I mean,
that
he
is
wrote
delightful.
it. He can't object to that because this is his own.
It's his nickname.
Yeah, that's my nickname, Riz.
Alright, so trying to dig this out. Looks like Frank's going to be able to do it. Still a really close game here.
So Robin has retaken the lead, again, back by about 11 lines. Robin Tetris ready.
And so is
bang.
Frank. And boom, boom. You can see Frank glancing over, trying to get a sense of the game pace that Robin is putting up. It can be so confusing when you're playing and you're not sure. You feel like maybe you're not playing well. And you look over, it can almost be really reassuring to look over and say, oh, I'm right there too. Like, you're also struggling with these pieces.
All right, so Frank has transitioned. He's about 309 now, and Robin 306, 5 lines away from transition.
So Frank's really cut down into this lead, but he is ahead of Robin in the game. And as we saw in the first game, Robin looking really strong on this 19 speed. But there goes Frank taking the lead.
Wow. He's been set up for Robin, can't hit it converted.
It's such a tight window at this speed to flip a piece like that.
So he's going to burn this down.
Yeah, Frank saw the risk developing there. Really smart play from Frank, unless he didn't mean to do that.
In which case, very lucky for Frank.
Nice setup. Boom Tetris for Frank. Now flipped it. He has a 31,000 point lead. Oh, an awkward bit of
Oh no, that's going to
stuff
be really
there for
tough for
Frank.
Frank.
The square is one of the few pieces you can get over at this height. You don't have to rotate it.
Hey. Wow.
Oh, and that's going to be
seal
that.
it for Frank. Now, Robin still has to chase this down. He needs some Tetris and some change. Or maybe just about a Tetris here, level 22. And that's going to do it for Robin. And Robin is going to take this game off Frank.
And advances into the main bracket.
There it is. Give that man his heart.
What a match. I thought Frank was coming back. It's just, you can see how just staying in the game can be so crucial.
And Robin wins it.
But yeah, Beastin Shen coming from the guideline Tetris world, picked up classic Tetris, NES Tetris. So I'd say about a year ago is when I started seeing him start to, which so many people about a year ago started picking it up, right?
Strange.
Yeah,
a year ago. What happened a year
How did
ago?
that happen? And then has since become a max out player. And
All right, we're going to start over here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
regularly taking part in the competitive 1v1 kind of pickup streams and things like that. So definitely a fixture of the online Tetris community. And Keith, I know nothing about.
I'm trying to see if I have any info on him. Not sure that I do. I'm so sorry, Keith.
The other Keith.
Yes. All right, so Keith with an early lead. Nice tugs from Keith. As soon as you see a move like that, you say, okay, they know how to play Tetris. These kind of next level solves, the ability to see the game in those different ways, like that square tuck. Really nice moves right now from Keith. You see them both in the middle of this drought. And they Tetris out of it. But Keith up about 2 Tetrises right now. Now one. And boom, Tetris for Keith. Boom, Tetris for Shen.
Nice. Yeah, you'll see both players, it seems like, it will be doing a lot of like tucks and kind of next level tucks. The ones that really are kind of like Jonas started on his stream teaching people, oh, you can do that. And now everybody's doing it.
Yeah. It's cool how your brain can just kind of process these things and say, okay, that's possible, now you do this too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just see the level of Tetris play that has gone up in the past couple years with more and more people streaming and kind of sharing gameplay techniques. Keith with a little extra shift there.
Yeah, it should be easy to solve with this T piece here that'll tuck in there and it'll burn away the right side.
Now closer to a 1 Tetris difference between the two.
Oh, is he going to build in column 9? Looks like he's going to build in column 9, so...
Sometimes it just pushes you into something like that. And another drought for these players. Both of them not in the best position to weather it. I would say Shen's a little safer. And he comes out of it able to Tetris.
Nice.
Boom, Tetris for Beastin Shen.
And a Tetris for Keith. So Keith up by almost exactly a Tetris. But not anymore.
How quickly the numbers change. Back and forth, really a close match right now. Both players played very consistently. You see Keith with a 54% Tetris rate, especially in tournaments, a strong percentage.
And a Tetris for Shen here, 239. So keeping pace with one another. Really, until someone gets in some sort of extended burn, you're going to see these players keep pace.
Oh, nice spin
L
from
spin.
Beastin Shen.
The crowd loves that one.
The L and the J spins are always really satisfying to watch. And this isn't modern Tetris. It is such a small window to spin that piece around.
Yeah, modern Tetris, you would be able to like get up and change channels while you still have time to do it.
You could rotate it like 16 times,
Yeah.
pick the final spot you like, and then finally let it sit there. I'm exaggerating, but
Only just.
the window here, very tight. So Keith trying to dig out this situation. He kept his damage, kind of the holes in his stack, on the same level. It lets him dig it out a lot faster.
Yeah, and he saw that long bar coming, was able to create a long bar dependency to help him burn more efficiently, but only because he saw that long bar coming.
Yeah, the next piece adjustment, that kind of foresight is really impressive.
All right, so they are keeping pace with one another.
It's neck and neck.
That's another word for it. We should start using that.
Yeah, it's catchy.
all day.
All right, another Tetris for Shen
And
to
boom.
keep pace.
A difference of 700 points right now. Back and forth. Oh my gosh, Tetris, Tetris, Tetris.
1:45 Pacific to 2 o'clock, and that's when the
Keith just raised his Tetris rate. He was at 54% for a little bit there. He's now at 56. And same thing for Beastin Shen. He's at 51. He's up to 53.
more to sort out here before we get there.
It's really impressive from both players. The consistency, the survival. We've seen them get through a few droughts, kind of come out of it with a Tetris.
2 Tetris lead for Keith there, while Beastin Shen is burning, and he's trying to get his stack ready for the 19 transition, but he might transition with a messy stack here. Oh, if he can get a long bar, this would help.
Uh-oh. The drought kind of headed towards the transition. You've built up high. You want to keep scoring.
Now,
It
and
finally
that's very
comes.
nice. Into transition.
Beastin Shen transitions at 430,000. Not a bad transition score. But he's he's behind in scoring, as you can see, by about 2 Tetrises. Ooh, a bit of a mistake there from
yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, and he's going to want a long bar ASAP because burning on the left is going to be super hard. Oh no,
Oh,
this
it's
could.
just such a tough sequence of pieces right there.
There's
He
not
can't
much.
get
Yeah,
anything to
that's
the
going
left.
to be it. All right,
He's
so
up.
it's not over yet.
Beastin
Shen
Shen-
still needs to chase him down. Needs to get to 485,
That's it.
and
With a
there it
Tetris,
is. and
that's
Beastin
game 1.
Gets the hurt. So, all right, little. Sorry about the audio there.
Very dramatic. Game 1. with a bit of a come-from-behind win for Beastin, Shen.
Yeah, I mean,
He was about a Tetris behind on average throughout that game.
yeah, so not a big chase down, you know,
All
when
right,
it's
guys,
within
starting
a...
the next round over here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
When you're within a couple Tetrises to chase down, it kind of almost doesn't really matter too much. But once you get to like the 100,000 points, even though if you have a lot of runway, that's where the psychology starts to get into
Yeah,
it.
it's a daunting number. And honestly, just being back like one Tetris doesn't really get in your head as much until you're always behind with that
Right,
much.
exactly.
Then it can get a little tedious.
But you can also see sometimes players down by a Tetris,
Simul-Tetris.
but getting a little bit droughted and hanging on a little bit too long to their open Tetris well, and then wrecking their entire stack.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
let's not see that happen.
Okay. Alright, so Keith with a tricky left side.
Oh, likes
Gets
the,
bailed out with the
J
right piece there, yeah.
I still have to hold out. Okay, that's an L. Like, I still have to hold my hands out to know what an L is.
I mean, I learned from Jonas, so I say, you know, like Z, other Z.
The other
and
Z.
They're interchangeable to me. Great adjustment there from Keith. A bit of an early shift with the next piece, but he's okay. And Beastin Shen is just waiting on the long bar.
But so is Keith. All right, now Keith is ready.
Boom, Tetris for Beastin Shen.
And
I feel like I saw a bit of a Tetris deep breath from Beastin there. It feels like that's the only time you can breathe when you knock down a Tetris. One deep breath and then you're back in it.
It's a good opportunity to take care of some personal. Like sometimes I need to scratch my nose. I got an itch over here. All right, Tetris coming down. Now I've got time.
All right, so Keith has taken back the lead just a bit. And opens it up a little bit more, but Beastin's about to knock down his own Tetris. Take it back down. It's 4,000 point difference. It's anyone's game right now.
Virtual dead heat. Eyelash to eyelash, there's what they say in France, and they have all different ones. Every time you say neck and neck, then everyone in chat tells you the ones that they have.
All right, 6,000 point difference, still incredibly close. So Beastin Shen was blocked for that. Oh, that long bar.
I can still get out of this.
Nice decision making up high there for Beastin Shen, and boom,
Merciful
Tetris.
Long bar. All right, Keith with the long bar dependency on the left side.
You see kind of a shrug from Keith. He's like, I don't like this.
Yeah, he started to burn it down, but creating these LJ dependencies also in so doing. But
All right, so finally gets, see that deep breath from him. Like, okay, now I can play Tetris again. And meanwhile, Beastin Shen now up about Tetris and a half.
yep.
Just really great burns from Keith. Using kind of all the different levels and trying to be really efficient with what he's doing.
Yeah, kind of hard for him to burn right now with that little overhang in the ninth column, but all right, gets the piece and now finally opens the well back up.
Yeah, the drought wasn't helping.
No.
Never does. All right, so they both get it open in time to knock down a Tetris.
We're back to about a Tetris and a third. We've gone to other fractions now for as the game progresses.
A Tetris plus, let's say.
Tetris plus.
Simul-Tetris. Extra flashy.
All right, Shen set up again. And boom,
Knocks it down.
Tetris. Feels good to say boom, you know.
And you see Beastin Shen with the higher Tetris rate, 59% Tetris rate. So out of all the lines he's burned, takes it up into the 60% range, which is considered the max out rate. It's kind of the percentage of your burned lines that have been Tetrises.
Harder to sustain on 19 though.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have to be higher than that on 18 usually, and then lower. on 19 to get that max out.
All right, so Keith trying to clear out that situation. He achieves his goal. And now Shen kind of with the same situation, trying to figure out how to dig this out without getting, double line dependent. Couple unfortunate pieces, but Shen does some nice elevated clears there. Really great work from Beastin Shen.
Yeah, and it's so tempting when you have a deep channel like that to just throw any piece down there so you can burn on the right. But no, he had the discipline to just keep...
and the nice dirty Tetris.
Oh, there it is.
For Beastin Shen.
Yeah,
See the big head nod. That had to feel good.
Yeah.
Very high right now. Not transition, but still flirting with fire right now, playing that high on his board. He is not getting the pieces he needs right now. He is quite valiantly.
All right, so Beastin transitions at 459,000.
He transitions with a Tetris 452, so pretty
Such a
darn
close
close.
game.
So yeah, I don't know anything about Keith really, so it'd be interesting to see what he is able to do on 19. Now, anybody in this bracket is able to play on 19, I think, at this point.
I mean, based on his 18 play and already his 19 play, he knows what he's doing.
Sticking with us here.
Oh my gosh, just great play here from Keith.
Yeah, Shen's
Such
he's got
a
that
brutal sequence.
And yeah, he's going to need a quick tap to get
How does
anything
Keith
in there.
getting these pieces over?
But so Shen, that's probably going to do it
Nice
for Shen
Tetris
here.
for Keith. And Keith takes game 2. We're going to game 3.
A decider. We've got a decider. Which is our first one here on Classic Tetris 2, the first ever
Our first
decider.
game 3.
You know, when you've got that thirst, there's only one thing that can quench it, and that's a decider.
That's what they say. Oh my gosh, by the end of that game, they both had a 48% Tetris rate. That was so close the whole way. You can see that bottom green and red. It shows who was in the lead. If they were green at that time and who was in the red, that's who was behind. So you can kind of see the flow of the match. And of course, the last color up there is the one that really matters.
By the way, what a magnificent mustache. Can I just say that? Is that okay for me to say?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a great mustache.
Yeah, this is like, I'm a bartender.
We got some smiles
It's
from our competitors.
1890.
All right, we're going to start the final round of this match. In 3,
2, 1, Tetris!
And then silence.
Simul set up for the first 3 pieces, and then they deviated. Oh my gosh. Look at this Z-burst to kick this off. That sucks.
It's like they programmed a Tetris setup into the competition card.
Two great back-to-back cups, though, by Paul. Well done.
And both players looking for their first Tetris.
So Beastin Shen survived, well, initially survived it a little better. You can just tell when 2 players kind of immediately are in trouble like that, just bad pieces. You can say that that is bad RNG. Beastin has recovered, he's Tetris ready. Again, all of these just uncomfortable pieces. You have to set up these overhangs, slide the pieces in. It's hard to keep your DAS when you're, constantly doing these last-second adjustments to tuck a piece in. Oh, and Keith with another kind of early shift. They're just preparing to move the next piece, and the current piece hasn't quite locked in yet. And boom! Tetris for Beastin Shen.
It's a nice square for Keith over on the left in the long bar, and this piece to burn it all the way back down to the ground. So he should be in a place where he can be comfortable in scoring again, setting up a normal Tetris stack. There's a Tetris for Shen as well. So about just under a 3 Tetris lead here for Shen, which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Under 40 lines into the match.
course, there's still a lot of game, potentially, left for these two players. Theoretically. A nice clear from Keith to get ready for that long bar. Shen now ready. Oof. And then those pieces, but he kept his well open, gets the Tetris, and now it's a little bit of cleanup time.
Yeah, we'll see if he stays middle here or what he decides to do. Yeah,
looks like he's going
a little risky business. A little risky business.
Let's see how long he sticks with it.
Oh, just?
That's a triple.
Oh, he's going to burn it all.
It's so hard to stay Tetris ready with a center well like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the early shift.
Yeah, he took a little breath. He kind of caught his breath, but in the meantime, just kind of missed a placement there. So.
Chris Brady will be. This is tomorrow, by the way. Chris Brady will be facing Joseph Saley. Ben Mullen versus Matt Schoolmaster. Green team versus.
All right, so Keith takes the lead with that one. After a kind of a rocky RNG start, the game is evened up. And we're back into what we expect from these two players. Very close match.
Yeah. I mean, this entire bracket, the skill gap has closed so much from like the best players to the
I don't know
okay
if it's a
players.
skill gap. It's like a skill pinch. It's so close,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Uko. Facing the Dudabites.
Oh boy.
So,
Corion versus Robin Mihara and Yanni.
sorry, they're calling out the bracket for the top 32 tomorrow so far.
Yes, we will have the bracket.
All right, so Shen is ready for a party down the middle. Middle right.
Middle-ish. Middle-ish.
And the Keith gets out of that drought with a Tetris. He's opened up around a 50,000 point lead.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, this is win or go home sad.
Yeah.
So this is not an easy situation.
When you get
at
to a
all.
game 3 in a best of 3, it's suddenly the only game that matters.
Yep.
Oh, you see Shen shaking his head.
All right, so this sequence should really, I mean, these are great pieces.
These
right
are
here,
really
too.
helping Shen out right now.
And should be Tetris ready in a few pieces.
Keith now with a 90,000 point lead. Great adjustment for that L that was coming.
And yeah, this is a little bit of an uncomfortable position for Shen because he needs to maintain the aggression, but then again, level 19 is looming.
Right.
So you can't jack up your stack
These
too
are
much.
just a series of unfortunate pieces there
Oh,
for
that's a nice
Keith.
sequence. Oh.
He gets his well open. That's got to be a little bit of a relief. Burn it down 4 lines with a Tetris, and then you kind of resolve the issues.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Shen has made up some of this lead here, and if he just gets a J piece, should be Tetris ready, or that piece works too.
Ooh, there we go.
And there is the long bar and a Tetris for Shen, so back by 2 Tetrises. And yeah, Keith's still not with a great score-ready stack here, and he's just going to have to burn all the way to the ground before 19 comes.
Yeah, so we have the transition to level 19 at 130 lines, and it's a pretty significant speed increase as we've seen.
All right, Keith with a center well Tetris.
Keith not loving the shape of his board.
No, this is going to be tough to manage on 19.
Get
Oh no, and Shen with a misplacement. So he's got this flagpole in the middle of his stack.
the early shift again from Keith. You figure some of that just has to be competition nerves.
No, and Shen, oh no, this is going to be it for Shen, and Shen is going to
And
top
Shen
out at
is
338.
out.
And Keith is
And
moving
Keith
on.
moves on. Wow. Great games. What a match.